Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick.
Dusk.
Dark Seer.
Ancient apparition.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Clockwork.
Dire team ban.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen,
Radiant
to Beyond the
team
Summer
back.
presentation of the Starladder I-League 13 European match between none other than Golden Boys and 4 Clovers and a Lepricon. We started off with an unfortunate Game 1 forfeit due to team delays on 4CL's behalf,
10
and
seconds
then we
remaining.
actually got the 4CL stomp out a very nice Game 2
5
win,
seconds
41 minutes,
remaining.
but they had the advantage the entire game. But now we get a Game 3. Golden Boys
Reserve
back
time.
at it again, this time hopefully skilling up the right spells, as they are going to be bringing in some familiar faces to the draft. Thanks once again for tuning in, and I'm not going at it alone. I myself am Blaze, but I'm joined by none other than Llama Down Under. How's it going?
I'm really excited. We see the AA on the other side, Golden Boys. Like, we've had enough of you having that here. We'll show you how we can use him. I wonder how the rest of their draft is gonna adapt. We've got a Clockwork coming out, and that's what I actually was just looking for stats on, because Sexy Bambo, he's played Dota for a long time. I'm pretty sure I want to check his stats this patch and a couple others, but I'm pretty sure he's a very experienced
team
Clockwork
back.
player.
Yeah,
So
definitely. We got to see it last night, and it was solid, but as a whole, like, I got to see when he even played against the Koreans on Team Zephyr, he does some
Radiant
amazing on the
team
Clockwork.
back.
He's very unorthodox in the way he moves, but that's just that much more effective at catching guard. And as much as I am excited about the Bambo Clockwork, it also means that we are going to be getting a Sword Tusk, which is just that much more exhilarating when it comes to the early fighting.
10
yeah, I
seconds
almost feel
remaining.
like Tusk is better than an Earthshaker early game, just because with the Snowball
5
Ice Shards,
seconds
maybe a bit
remaining.
easier initiation than an Earthshaker has, and your damage output with the nerfs to Earthshaker is a lot more. So it's
Reserve
really
time.
interesting, and I think all the players at this level know how to use the Ice Shards to block terrain as much as a Fissure would. So I'm really loving this support Tusk, and excited for 4 Clovers to show us some more early rotations. But yeah, I'm a bit surprised Sexy Bambo only has 22 lifetime games on Clockwork, 7 this patch. I was expecting a bunch more, but that's okay. I'm sure he still knows his way around a clock. And the Clink span out, do you know what that's about?
That's actually quite interesting now that I think about it. I mean, obviously Klinks is one of the highest ranged heroes naturally, so he's going to be able to put Clockwork a lot more effectively. But I understood a lot more in the previous game, where it really seemed to fit into the draft, the early damage output that you're looking for from the hero, very physically oriented, of course. In this case, it just seems a little off the wall. Obviously, there's Strafe, a Chilling Touch synergy, where you can get a lot of really quick physical and magical damage out on a target, and that's a little bit
Radiant
scary,
team
but
pick.
all in all, I wouldn't say it's worth the ban unless they have a hero that is going to be facing some difficulty here. I mean, obviously, a Chen or Enchantress player would love to see Clink banned in just about every game they play, but we haven't seen those heroes very much in the recent metagames.
Yeah, it's also something Golden Boys have never run this patch. They've run it once in their lifetime. The only other hero I can think you kind of maybe ban it against is the Undying. You have to be careful with an Undying here, of course, against the AA. It's certainly something you can make work, though. But they go with the Jug on Golden Boys, and I like this. I feel like Jug is a hero who, at the beginning of this patch, maybe not picked too much, but as this patch has progressed, really fantastic. And yeah, I like him. I've seen him built a number of different ways. I seen a lot of Battle Fury jugs, actually. Kind of hoping we get a bit more action-packed, but he's certainly a hero who can go late if you give him those farming tools.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about a couple aspects of the Juggernaut here. In lane against the Clockwork, there's a decent chance he'll be caught by a few cog knockbacks, which the mana burn can be very detrimental to the Juggernaut's early laning. And another big thing is if he isn't patient enough. Juggernaut going in to it on a single target and only slashing them down, if the Tusk is anywhere nearby and can get that snowball out, you can completely nullify that ultimate. So it's very important that he's patient, waits the snowball first, and then goes in and goes for that big Omni Slash. But the subsequent picks we're going to see here in Phase 2, we're going to see 4C&L pick up the Gyrocopter, and actually going to be the Wind Ranger here for Golden Boys. So another Chilling Touch synergy. You'll probably see Chilling Touch maxed out this game, but not that much synergy with the Darkseer. It really seems like they're just happy to have that hero in their draft no matter what, but they're not really emphasizing it too much with the AoE follow-up.
Yeah, Darkseer, of course, rising to prominence this patch because of the number of shorter ranged or basically melee carries that are popping up. Gyrocopter I kind of think of as a short range, poor man's ranged hero, and certainly Darkseer can take advantage of that with Wall Vacuum. I really like this Disruptor though. It's something where the kinetic field, if the Tusk rolls you in, the kinetic field, Static Storm, easy to set up, and it can synergize really well with Gyro and, of course, catch out the Windrunner, bringing her back. Jug, of course, can always spin out of the Glimpse, though. So it'll be interesting to see how many kills. And, sorry, it's good against Darkseer, too. But a Bounty Hunter? What patch is this?
Yeah, I mean, I love the Bounty Hunter still, even in this patch. The track nerf is not as big as a lot of people made it out to be, but I'm not sure you pick it into a Tusk Disruptor support duo.
Yeah.
Tusk sometimes goes offlane with Clockwork as a duo, but a lot of the time you'll see him just roaming around wherever he's needed, and if the Bounty Hunter is putting pressure out of top, that's where you can expect Tusk to be, with Dust of Appearance at hand. So I think there's some risk there. I mean, you've got to worry about the Ice Shard block and the kinetic. Well, I really don't feel like the Surge is going to be a get-out-of-jail-free card from the Gondar like it normally would be in this dual-lane composition, the Darkseer Bounty Hunter. You still get the Iron Shell value, of course, when you're running around in Biz, but 4C&L build up a good detection pool. I feel like it might be difficult for a Bounty Hunter to actually get on his feet, and he might just have to look around sniping couriers and staying away from that top lane.
Yeah, the hero's also changed the way you have to play him because you have to do a lot more work early. It used to be that if you get a couple of harassments early, as long as you're working towards the 6, you're fine. But with the nerfs to track, it just feels like a bounty hunter has to do more everywhere since the track isn't as big of a goal anymore. So I don't know how this is going to work out, and I just realized the Disruptor, I just really like the pick. It also is a nice kind of block pick because they certainly could have gone for it on Golden Boys, because Tusk into Disruptor is, it's horrible.
Absolutely, and the Darkseer Disruptor is something we've seen Golden Boys run multiple times, so seems to be a more favored pick of theirs, and the fact that now it's in the hands of 4C&L, it does kind of throw in the wrench in the works for Golden Boys. I want to see from 4 Clovers lineup is just a lot of chase potential. Even with track movement speed and wind run and things like that, you've still got Glimpse, hookshot cogs, got the snowball forward. You can chase these guys all the way to their base, quite literally. Like, you're able to really pursue to a great extent, and you're able to track them down and find kills of your own. So I feel like 4C&L are going to be looking to start fights on the right foot. If they can get something with good amount of burst damage here for their final pick, they can't go for the Queen of Pain, but any mid with early burst damage. No, they go for the Batrider, but that still works. Not early burst damage, but if you get a good lasso that doesn't get broken, then you are starting your fight on the right foot, and from there you can just run people down, string them out, and make sure that you turn 1 kill into 3 or 4.
I'm expecting Lotus Orbs. Actually, I'm not. So I think Lotus Orb against Tusk is hilarious. Also Lotus Orb against Spirit Breaker, but sometimes something people go against the Batrider. It might just be a Linken's for a few heroes, depending, because Linken's here also not the worst, and if you just go up for the Bat, could be interesting. Either way, this mid matchup, I'm assuming it's going to be Ninkwa mid on the Batrider. I'm not sure who ends up coming out on top. I think as long as the Windrunner plays back, but the moment you take too many stacks, you just die.
Yeah, hard to call it right now. Yeah, it looks like it should be the Batrider kind of forcing the Wind Ranger back multiple times over, but it really, I think, comes down to the resources as well, mana pool. If the Batrider is able to find good runes and keep the napalm flowing, it's going to be forced out of lane much more frequently, but it really comes down to how rapidly, I guess a more better, it's what the threshold Thug puts at for napalm stacks that he actually feels threatened. If it's one too high, then he actually might be killed off by the Batrider, unexpecting of his damage output with a good flame break. And if it's just low enough, then he should be able to kind of just waste the Batrider's mana, back off, and then reset with full potential, especially if he gets the early magic.
Yeah, and I'm also wondering about how much work Saxa can get done here. Ice Shards onto a Windrunner. I mean, she does have Windrun, but you can definitely snowball Ice Shards and kind of block her out in that mid lane, so we'll see what her luck is going to look like. This mid lane could be terrifying. Bounty Hunter, though, maybe next time. If he has a better game than he did last, maybe he'll be able to get some mad work done. And this bottom rune, it's going to be sadness for someone.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's going to get involved here for the side of the Golden Boys. They've got the Chilling Touch ready to roll, so we're actually going to look over at the top room where it looks like Pycat's just got this one dominated. Skylark wants to click it faster. It's going to be going to the Dark Seer. That's going to be 2 bounty runes going to the Golden Boys, and a really good start for them. Pycat does have 3 Rocket Barrages. They're going to bring Skylark low. He does have a healing salve as well as potential surge to skill up, so I don't think Pycat's got this kill. He really wants it. He loses line of sight, and now he's under tower.
Yeah, this is actually really nice for Skylark. I'm a little bit surprised that he pursued so far on Pycat, because I agree with you. I think the idea there is you force Skylark to use out his salve. Not going to end up working. And EGM super far behind the tower. I thought maybe he was going for one of those aggressive wards, but I think instead just seeing if there was anything he could set up.
Mm-hmm. Now we're going to see maybe next time make his rotation up here, but I absolutely agree with you. The fact that Bounty Hunter now can no longer have that cushion of a bad start. He needs to be involved. We're actually going to see some good double Iron Shell action, but a very smart snowball away from Saxa pulls him out of an otherwise really bad spot. With Orb of Venom slows and the Iron Shells, that could have actually been a kill.
Yeah, and Thug just getting away by the hair on his tails. That's not how Windrunner works. Either way, had 8 sticky napalm stacks up, and also with the glimpse back from EGM, Thug was put in a bad spot, but Windrun to the rescue, and just that isn't enough levels to be a real pain there. So maybe next time just being a pain to Soxka. I don't think Soxka will go down here, but this trading is not super favorable.
I don't know what he's doing, honestly. Like, he'll go for the snowball play here. The Disruptor is nearby with Glimpse, and they should be able to scout him out. Yeah, they have the dust, so this actually could be a kill now that Soxka has the upper hand. Maybe next time is outside of Glimpse range, but of course it's on cooldown for quite some time. They'll pop the dust, actually slows down the Bounty Hunter, and in the end he looks like maybe he'll just feed to creeps or the tower. Soxa, he wants the first blood, he draws it, and yeah, that was actually something that you won't often see, because Bounty Hunter has such high natural base armor that you're not generally able to trade with him, but if you can just get low enough to that point and then retreat to a position where you can just kind of keep tabs on him, the Disruptor can make a play like that. So it was actually very well thought out from Soxa.
Yeah, and also a mistake from maybe next time. He should have known that he was being baited, and he shouldn't, I think, have gone for the kill for another. You have to wait until the snowball comes out to use your Shadow Walk, but got a bit greedy there and got really heavily punished, especially when they didn't have vision of the Disruptor at all, so you should have known that Disruptor was rotating top, but maybe hoping he was mid. And these wards, do they not touch each other? No, they just miss, so nobody gonna lose their sentry in mid, and gonna be bad for the Bounty Hunter if he thinks he's safe there and rotates in.
Absolutely. For now, Nikwa, I mean, he's getting some decent CS here at 6, but he doesn't have any jungle stacks to fall back on. The Wind Ranger is overpowering for the moment and should be able to generate quite a bit of momentum. Luckily, Batrider isn't really as item dependent as a Wind Ranger by comparison. You get your Blink, your Force, and you're pretty much good to go. The only exception to that is if enemy picks up like a Yule Scepter. Then you probably need a BKB to make sure your lasso sticks. But as it is right now, he probably needs the 2 items I mentioned, and he's good to go. Bambo's contesting the pull down bottom, going to be getting some nice experience here. He's actually already level 4, and the Ancient Apparition just isn't getting as much as he'd like to in this situation. It's the second time we're seeing Skanks for kind of what we would normally consider a 4-position support in a 5-position role, and I'm curious why he goes in that item-dependent support mindset in that situation. We're actually going to see Nikwa stalked up by maybe next time. The Sentry Ward, as you mentioned, is going to allow him to keep his distance.
It's probably just an unfortunate case of playing the 4 and the 5 is really different. I actually just had a discussion with some of the members on Root Gaming about this because I was wondering, and top, Skylark getting cut off a bit. He isn't able to eat a tree or anything. He doesn't have any more tangos on him. He's probably going to fall here. 3 in the snowball. There's a rocket barrage. Tank it for him. Neutral creep. Skylark trying to go the other way. Can he walk and juke his way to freedom? But one more auto attack will do it, and he goes down. So it could just be a case of one of them plays the 4 and one plays the 5, and they're really used to that, but then hero preferences. Discussing it with some, as I said, the guys on Root Gaming, it's apparently a really big difference playing the 4 and the 5. I thought it would be much more interchangeable, but the playstyles are really different. The fact that one of you's doing a lot of warding, one of you's not, one of you's de-warding, and so it could just be preferenced with that playstyle. Oh, and the glimpse back home, did that just happen?
That sucks. Yeah, it's a long walk of shame with the Surge. It's going to be a while before he gets to the creep wave, and he's going to be losing out on a lot of experience compared to the Clockwork, who's actually second in experience per minute right now. Sexy Bambo is between the Juggernaut and the Wind Ranger here, and that's just insane. The fact that he's about to hit level 6, and Darkseer just lost a lot of his progression towards even level 5, that's pretty huge. But yeah, I've run into that quite a few times myself. Like, usually one support in most teams' configurations, one of the supports is the captain, and more often it's the 5 position, just because you're able to look more on the map while you're doing things like pulling and other basic natural things, whereas the 4 is really focused on getting the most out of every second in terms of either finding farm, finding gank opportunities, roaming around. It's a completely different role, honestly, despite the heroes being similar.
Down bottom, looks like they'll get the kill on Sexy Bambo, but I think it's okay. It's one of those things where sometimes as the offlaner, you have to play a bit aggressively to get those levels, and as you mentioned, he's doing really well. A kill, you don't want to give the jug farm, but you're probably okay with that progression, and Sexy Bambo is level 6, so he can just use this death to kind of act like he's walking back to lane, maybe get a kill elsewhere. And speaking of kills, the mid lane looking like Thug might be taking a tumble. Does have a bit of backup here, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. So, the other thing I worry about here for Skylark, maybe it's time to just go jungle. This lane is really scary with a Disruptor and a Gyrocopter.
Yeah, I mean, you never really... A lot of times, the Darkseer used to be like the key jungler. Now it seems like that extra route of farm is usually reserved for the mid, so you usually see that power shot it down, maybe a Juggernaut spin come against it, and offlane is left high and dry a little bit. So I kind of feel like the metagame where the Darkseers and the Batriders farm the jungle stacks has kind of shifted into the mid's hands, and maybe that would be something that puts a dent in Thug's farm. As you can see, he's farming the double stack right now.
Yeah, so gonna be at least something. The other issue here, I wonder, and we do had... Okay, they've blocked out this camp, which is a really nice play for Golden Boys, and they've got a couple of stacks for the Batrider. It's kind of interesting. I feel like Batrider and Windrunner... I guess Batrider clears stacks, Falster, or... He can clear bigger stacks. I don't know if it's Falster because of the sticky napalm setup. Of course, Windrunner can also attempt to clear stacks, but with the degradation of Power Shot as it goes through units, it's always rough. I'm not sure who has the better catch-up farm. I'm erring towards Batrider, but I think it takes him a while. Neither of them is like a Shadow Fiend or a Lina who just kind of pops into the jungle, comes back out, and is like, got 1,000 gold, guys, how's it going?
Exactly. It really comes down to the item build. The two builds are, generally speaking, between Ags and Maelstrom. Maelstrom is still an underrated item in terms of its value with Focus Fire, as it still does its full proc damage with each lightning strike. But Maelstrom is actually a really good item for farming stacks and just farming clusters of creeps in general. So then you can kind of outpace the Batrider. But otherwise, you're just going to be looking at the kind of bread and butter. As looks back on Skylark, up top, they're going to call down him. He's going to go for the TP away, but that second rocket strike is not fast enough. The Darkseer will live to see another day.
So, really nicely done there, and yeah, I do wonder, a lot of Windrunners, it seems to be their skill build is personal preference, because we've got players who, despite, I think most people agree that the mass assured damage output is the Ags Crisp build, and actually maybe next time they get the shackle onto the neutral creep. Nikwa, I don't think he's going to go down here. The power shot doesn't manage to hit, and they are both just probably going to back up. But maybe next time, caught in a little bit of a bad spot. 3 seconds till he can get back out, but maybe Suska going to pay for this with his life if he's not careful. But here comes EGM, and he's carrying dust, as he always is. Maybe next time slowed. Shackle doesn't latch. Seems a bit unfair. Can he get these shots off, though? And yeah, not going to just go for it. I think a bit dangerous. So Suska TP's out like it's no thing, and actually, Doxy this time not having the vacuum. I don't think he would have gotten it off, though, with the cost point on that spell.
Yeah, it's just a tough position. We're actually going to see Bambo go for a Midas
Dire's
here
middle tower is under
on the
attack.
Clockwork, doing so well, in fact, with 32 last hits early on that he says, well, the rich get richer. He's going to be going for the Midas that'll translate into later game items like Aghanim Scepter, maybe Vlad's AC. BKB's not too bad this game, but there's a lot of physical damage roaming out, so I don't expect that to be his item of choice.
Yeah, I think it's a bit more likely that we'll see that pipe or so on. And
Yeah,
apparently, we should expect big things from Saska because he got 8k MMR by spamming Tusk. So I'm suddenly expecting a lot more from you, Saska. I'm just saying.
Oh, I mean, just the 2 plays that he's made in the top lane already have been quite impressive in that regard. Like, just the snowball back in the situation where he was between Bounty Hunter and Darkseer, and even the bait plays. Well, that's not Tusk specific exactly. It's still very relevant to his overall skill level.
Yeah, he clearly knows how to play Dota. Unfortunately, missing these wards. Kind of funny, too, that they missed it. No, actually, it's going to be the Dire who knows about that one. And top, it looks like Skylark in a bad position again with the glimpse being used, though. Will the TP outwork this time? It looks like it will.
Oh, just barely having enough raw effective HP there. And, yeah, this has got to be kind of frustrating for the Dire in general. They're using a glimpse for the pullback, and obviously don't have any disable at that point to actually lock down the Darkseer. I almost have to consider the possibility that Pycat could go on back and skilled the homing missile. Starts with the homing missile when they start hitting him, and then when the glimpse comes back, it's ready to knock him out and prevent that TP away.
Yeah, it's overall. I was thinking about that too, but it's really just that lane that lacks lockdown. That is fun to say. Because everybody else, right? You've actually got quite a few stuns on 4 Clovers, and we can see Batrider and Nikwa taking some stacks, and I don't think they should be worried overall. And forcing the Darkseer back, well, yeah, you definitely want the kill to accelerate Pycat's farm. He's farming up a storm, so should be kind of okay with this. Now, Jug itemization. We said we saw the Midas on the Clockwork. Not something I'm used to seeing, but if you're ahead, rich getting richer. I wonder what this Jug is going to go, because he hasn't really revealed anything other than the phase boots, and there's certainly options, but in mid, okay, I think Soxka's fine here, once again with the Sigil. Although he gets Thug on the wrong side, no TP support, so...
Yeah, and you gotta be concerned about anyway rotating at this point, especially the Clockwork, who we haven't seen on the map at all. Like, he has got... I don't think he's thrown a single hook shot, honestly.
No, he hasn't.
He's 0-1-0 and happy for it. He's been just building himself up gradually.
It's really interesting. I'm much more used to seeing the early hookshot play, which now we'll be seeing, not as early because he's level 8, but I'm very used to, you hit 6 on that offlaner, a sexy Bambo, you go, you make something happen, and then you wait for cooldowns, but instead, they're gonna kind of whiff on this kill, even though Batrider has his blink up Thug. Oh, they're gonna see him now with the ward. No, he's just out of range, and he gets the snipe onto Saska.
Wow. Just that Ice Blast, Power Shot combined together there, just a really nice snipe. I actually didn't catch that, but they were laying the groundwork for the kill, and he just says, okay, well, I'll dance off to the side.
Oh,
and
it's gonna be glimpse back? Okay, no, he just dust maybe next time? Okay, I definitely thought it was like a dust to glimpse him, which I would say is close to worth it, but... yeah, not going for it. Maybe it had been too long for the glimpse as well, though, by the time he got up there, but...
I think a big aspect of Bambo's timing is the natural aspect of Clockwork to be threatening once he hits 6. Essentially, everybody's looking for that Clockwork 6, just keeping tabs on when he actually hits that level, and then they are always playing as if he's going to hook them, and they pretty much just him being missing on the map and having that threatening presence could be a really big boon for finding those opportunities. And instead, he kind of hangs on to it, hasn't actually gone for any of those kills, and it's just been forcing the Golden Boys to play back a little bit. Skylark gonna be finished off here. Nice little flank with the Invis Rune from Batrider, and unfortunately the Sentry didn't actually scout him out. Pycat won't get hit by that Shackle, but the Ice Blast will be flying out here doing a lot of damage. The Power Shot threading the needle, and it looks like both of them will make it out away.
Yeah, if that Power Shot had hit either, I think they would have shattered, but as you said, not getting that really painful. Sexy Bamboo is actually really prioritizing gold. I'm not sure if he wants just the the Blade Mail up early, or there's another item he's thinking of.
I don't think Blade Mail's that good this game. It's good against Wind Ranger, specifically, but that's exactly one hero that you could probably find other ways to kill. So I wouldn't be surprised to just see him go for maybe like Magic One Drums Treads, but definitely for the Aghanim Scepter before like the 25-minute mark.
Yeah, but he was choosing to Midas the melee creep over the siege creep. And so that generally just means he's going for gold. So I don't know what it's going to be, but we'll see maybe an item coming out of him. And oh, this Ice Blast is very liberal, trying to catch the snipe onto Batrider. I don't think it'll be enough even if it hits, and yeah, Batman's like, I see it, I'm good. So nice pick there. But Thug gets the mid tower, and going straight for the Aghanims, it looks like, is Thug's preferred build.
Yeah. So, not farming as quickly right now, 5,700 net worth compared to the Gyrocopter, 6,300, but, I mean, that's perfectly fine. As long as he gets the Aghanim Scepter when he hits level 11 around that timing, he can still put out a lot of damage, as we've kind of already seen. The Juggernaut is also really high up on the charts by points of comparison.
I think he's doing Battle Fury. It could also be an early Lincoln's. I don't think I've ever seen that on Jug, but I'm sure one has happened in the history of Dota. But I think it's the Battle Fury, and that indicates the Golden Boys' plans on going late. Other than the Bounty Hunter, I would agree that all their heroes are really great for that, and I guess you can argue Bounty Hunter can help out with that track, although he is only level 4 and very low on mana.
Yeah.
So, and they suddenly go later than 4 Clovers, you know? While Bat takes a hero out of the equation, Jug isn't the latest of game carries. Yeah, Flat Cannon's good, but it's only 6 shots every 30 seconds. But it's an interesting play when Jug is a hero who can fight so early.
Yeah. Now, I would say one really good reason for the Battle Fury is the Gyrocopter would likely go for a Manta if the Juggernaut did not. Essentially, just popping the Omni Slash on the Gyrocopter, your key target, getting the Manta illusions out will dissipate a lot of that potential damage, unless you have Cleave, in which case then you're able to spread that damage out, and it doesn't really limit your damage output.
Yeah, it's also fantastic with the vacuum combo, right? You vacuum them in, you get off that Battle Fury, it's like a really long cooldown sleight of fist. I don't know what I was trying to say there, but basically I'm saying there is some synergy here. It's not all just for the farm, but it's certainly going to help to accelerate Jug's farm, and if he can keep up with or even be ahead of the Gyrocopter, he does become a harder carry. He needs to probably work towards, I would guess he's going to go Sanjay, Yasha, maybe Scotty afterwards, just to make sure he's a bit tanky, because there is a bunch of damage he needs to withstand coming out of 4 Clovers.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think, yeah, it's kind of a fighting item as well as a farming one. It should be able to do pretty much everything he wants to this game. And in the case that they might be able to run up to a Gyrocopter stacks and contest it, it's going to be the key item that allows them to actually take that off the board.
Yeah.
But right now, Pycat seems in a pretty good spot. He's going to be flacking down this wave. The sentries have stocked the stacking, a very nice usage of the sentry ward from the Bounty Hunter. He actually hid inside a completely invisible position. There's no way you can get line of sight on that, and drops down the sentry to make sure that he blocks off the spawn. Pycat's already got so many ancients that he should still be in an okay spot.
Yeah, another interesting thing, Darkseer, gotta enunciate that one apparently, is working on, he's got his mech finished up. I think Blink Dagger could help them. I don't know, neither of these teams seem to want to fight. We're at 5 kills in 16 minutes. I do feel like the early game is definitely to 4 Clovers. Still really surprised, unless I've missed it, we haven't had a hook shot. And it was the early 4-star from Clockwork.
Yeah. Oh, that's for the Bat
I don't
Rider,
know.
actually. Double 4-step on the Bat Rider, pulling people
that's
out of
a good
position
point.
is really solid. And of course, naturally, it's good for maneuvering around your own cogs very quickly.
And if there's a misplaced ice shard, always save your life. And there's the first hook shot of the game, going out onto AA. It looks like Skanks is gonna go down. Ice Blast missing as well, but the power shot, he's got the debuff on him. Can they get enough damage? They get the return kill. And for Clockwork, not really worth it.
No, I mean that's a solo kill in the AA. AA doesn't get part of the track gold, but the other, at least the Bounty Hunter does. Wind Raider was pretty close on that range. So either way, they get a nice bounty out of that. Wind Ranger about to finish her Aghanims. Bounty Hunter just now hitting level 6. He's ready for the fight to start. This has been kind of actually a really good thing that Golden Boys have held off this long without fighting, because now they get the extra value. But we're going to see the nice little call down here with the lasso and Kaiser going down before he can get a kill off.
Yeah, very, very sad day. But that's what Lasso does. And yeah, Boots of Travel gonna be up on Batrider. Imagine for him, as you mentioned, 4 Staff coming out next as well. And Gyrocopter's got his Sanj and Yasha Helm of the Dominator, so he is just gonna be farming up a storm. Could just be that they're waiting for some of these peak items before they fight. And an early gem.
Wow,
I love this.
That is extremely early. You can't really put that on the Clockwork because he dives so deep with his initiation. You can put it on the gem, put it on the Batrider, and he's good with the Firefly counter warding, but he hasn't built tanky particularly either. So I feel like the second you show that, you're either gonna have to bounce it back and forth between the base and your inventory,
Mm-hmm.
or you're gonna expect the rating to be gunning for it.
Which isn't the worst. You can definitely do, it's not how you maybe want to play, but you can certainly do the, like, I take the gem out for a walk, I leave the gem back at home, gameplay. I do think it's nice to have it up, and as you said, if Clockwork gets a bit tankier, maybe if one of the supports is going to be playing a bit safer, you can have it out and really do work on this bounty hunter. So maybe next time his game is about to get a hell of a lot rougher. Now, something I'm really surprised by is maybe next time is being given farm priority. We already discussed this a little bit, but I really think the AA now should get it. Maybe next time has enough money for like the next 15 wards. That number was not correct. Oh no, about 15, yeah, actually. So he has enough money for the next 15 wards. Oh, and he's gonna go down. Maybe next time ice shot to the face, but can they get the return kill? Oh, snowball to dodge all of it, and now it looks like they're gonna be able to catch out Thug too. Cooldown coming, Thug, he can't get out of this in time. He's gonna try to walk it off, but another ice shot's coming out. And with the own charge on him, is it enough? Another own charge coming out. Skylark, his mech is already on cooldown. The TP out from Thug. Can they get any sort of return kill? We've got a hook shot being the thing that actually takes out Thug, and now Skank's on the run. Skylark gonna fall. Snowball coming out. Skank's gonna go down as well. Kind of a 4 for none.
Yeah, just kind of. That was actually insane. Kaiser was going for the Omni Slash on a target in the pit. I think it was Nico, but I'm not sure. And they were TPing out. The mini stun no longer exists on Omni Slash, so he didn't cancel the TP. Gets a couple strikes in. That person gets back to the one tower bottom, and wasted Omni Slash straight up without getting a kill. So all in all, that is going to be a 4 for none. A beautiful Ice Blast dodge from the Tusk with the snowball, and it just there's so many ultimates failed to connect in that fight. Radiant.
Yeah, it didn't work out in their favor. A lot of that's a really nice play on the snowball, but also, as you said, maybe not remembering that there's the change on Jug, or just thinking that he had enough damage output there. Not quite sure. But it's, you know, it's one bad team fight. It definitely puts them in a hole. They're probably, when this evens out, probably 7,000 net worth and 7,500 experience behind. It is something one big team fight can turn around, but will they get the chance?
Very aggressive initiation here from Nikwa. Doesn't have a force step, but barely gets Skylark down to the low ground, and they'll kill him off cleanly with Bounty Hunter limping away with an HP, nearly getting 2 for that. And again, the reason that play is so dangerous is only because he's still carrying that gem behind enemy lines.
Yeah, but they're feeling like they're in a good spot, and with both the Clockwork and the Batrider able to do so much work early on, I don't even know if Gyro needs to show up. Of course, if he does, it's more damage for them, but he can just go farm a little bit, make sure he gets up whatever he wants, probably an MKB to deal with Windrunner, and suddenly Golden Boy is very much on the back foot.
Yeah, this game really just went from 0 to 60 very quickly, and it's dramatically shifting in favor of 4C&L, despite the Bounty Hunter track generally being better when you're fighting. The problem is they're not netting any kills, and they're not profiting from it. Kaiser will go for the Omni Slash, but it RNG bounces back to the Crave that he probably, honestly, like, it maybe just goes for the hits on Battle Fury and then tries to chase down the Batrider before the blink comes back up, but in the end, no, just rolls the dice, doesn't work out, and Nikwa doesn't even get hit by the Ice Blast.
Yeah, and again, another case of sentries just being out of range of the wards they're looking for.
Wow, that's happening a lot this game.
Yeah, it's really awful luck for the Golden Boys. They are having, their placements have been getting really awful, and I don't think they'll catch out maybe next time here, but he's in the danger zone, to put it lightly. So, oh, but now it's going to be going on to Kaiser. He can't get out of this. He needs to get out of there to spin, but he's going to get glimpsed backwards. Where's the spin coming out? He's going to avoid some damage, but a Warrior's Punch will just do him in, and he doesn't have the Omni Slash, so he just inevitably falls. Suddenly, Golden Boys, I don't know whether they need to take a chill pill, do some warding. I don't know whether it's just the case of this gem doing so much work, getting rid of their vision, but they need to do something, because this Jug can't farm.
They need to assassinate the Batrider. That's really their only option. They have to get this gem off the map, because Bounty Hunter can't move to scout without it. Bambo will be picked off here. Nice little jump there, but
Ooh, big bounty.
Now they're in some trouble, actually. The gem is going to be moving them very quickly, and it's going to make it difficult for the Bounty Hunter to get out. Nice little TP there from the AA, but Bounty Hunter's still roaming around. Luckily, the Batrider turns back towards the southern part of the map. But yes, Nikwa has to be their target. They have to find an opportunity to kill off this Batrider, surprise them with a smoke, something. Gem is still in 4C&L's hands this stage in the game. There's no way that Golden Boys can obtain map control.
Yeah, and now it looks like maybe next time. Okay, they didn't quite see him, but you gotta be careful. Saksa might end up wandering over here. It looks like they're fine, so Either way, I think that they've got a couple. They got a smoke, one, and they just used one, so they have one in stock as well for the lineup of 4 Clovers. They have 2 smokes in stock. If they can, as you said, you're going for the Bat Rider, but you might just be ready to take anyone here. And they've dusted up maybe next time. He's going to fall. They've used the Static Storm, though, and this might be Golden Boy's time to fight, because knowing that the Static Storm is down, yeah, Pycat still dishes a lot of damage, but you've got a slight advantage, and here comes Kaiser. There's the Omni Slash. It hits a couple neutrals, but he's going to get it. And the Ice Balls, it's going to... I think Pycat ends up splitting here. They've got the track kill, but here comes in Nikwa, and he's doing a lot of damage. Thug is off the map. Do they have enough with this wall? People keep walking through it, and Nikwa, he gets to be hook-shotted on instead of Thug. Thug's still trying to wander away. I think Thug is inevitably dead, but at least they get something there. They've gotten the Tusk. Can they do anything to Nikwa? No. It looks like he's gonna stop the TP as well. Where is his team support? And Kaiser just looking to find his way out of this team fight. He's like, nah, guys, I'm out. It's a 2 for 2. Favorable for Golden Boys because they're so far behind, but again, they didn't get that raid boss in the Bat Rider that they need.
Yeah, and of course it all started with the Bounty Hunter pickoff, which it's the exact opposite of his intentions here. He didn't even need the gem to scout it out. He essentially just put out the track, went invis immediately, and EGM just predicted where he must be based on that track coming out. So just 4C&L still completely dominating the map, and most importantly, that gem is out right when they were trying to steal it. Because if you look at the wards, they've been holding these wards for a while, but they've Observer Ward, 2 towards the top rune. This is an anti-gem ward, but still not great against the Bat Rider. And then they've had this one down toward the Dire Plateau on the bottom lane for quite some time. So those 3 wards are now extremely vulnerable to Nikwa, and Roche is of course completely under their control.
Yeah, and as you say that, they're going in for it. Not going to be much ado about that. Now, how do you... I feel like you're in the back foot for Golden Boys. You're again in a place where you have to base defense. I think that base defense this game, arguably even better. Power Shot clears wave, Ice Blast, Vacuum, a potent combo. And you got a Jug, who's got some wave clear on him. Is there something, a big item Golden Boys can wait for? And then suddenly they're in the driver's seat?
That's tough. I mean, obviously the AA Scepter is pretty huge. You can get the pipe on Darkseer, that would be really nice. But I feel like the Wind Ranger just... she needs like a Lincoln Sphere of her own in order to actually stay alive without being controlled in the fights.
And we have a Dust coming out. They're going in. There's going to be the pull from the Bat Rider. Kaiser, is he going to be put on the high ground under the Static Storm?
Nice
But a shackle! How did that happen? And that is a beautiful play. Kaiser's going to fall, but can they get some sort of return kill? They've killed off the Disruptor. Can they get any more? A Blast on cooldown, of course, for a while. They're trying to go back in. Skylark still has Surge and Ion Shell, but now it looks like AA is going to fall. One more auto attack will do it, but Pycat not going for it. And they already have a Lotus Orb. Clockwork ends up getting the kill. It looks like maybe next time's going to fall as well. They have a gem. Goodbye, Sweet Prince. Who is holding the Lotus Orb? Is it? Oh my goodness, Clockwork has an early Lotus Orb. I love this. They're gonna get the Shackle. Is Nikwa gonna finally fall? I don't think they call the gem though. Too many enemy heroes. Skylarky's got to try and do something here, and Thug is like, I need to kill people. I need to get the gem back. But you're fighting one against the world, and yes, Thug realizing needs to escape. They pick up the Aegis onto Gyrocopter as well, and Thug might just be gone on here. They get vision. Snowball's gonna be too late.
But still, that fight working actually really well for 4C&L, despite a couple of major plays coming out from Golden Boys. One of the biggest limitations of the fight, I would say, is the fact that Wind Ranger really couldn't get any damage out for the first half of it. She was up here on the high ground. She got an amazing shackle shot right into the pit, but she had to run all the way around down the ramp and back around to try to get some damage in, and in the meantime they were losing so many to the Gyrocopter there. AA going down pretty early, and just as a whole not having control over that fight. Yeah, the Lotus Orb, great for dispelling track, great for reflect, of course echoing plenty of spells, and if you can get any echoes against the Ranger, it can be game winning. Oh,
yeah. That
creep won't live long enough to tell the tale with the BOTs, but Thug has obviously the possibility of Shackle Shot echoing against him, but even more so, Focus Fire on Gyrocopter. Just insane. The attack speed is maxed out for him, and could destroy things.
Also, Omni Slash. Like, it changes up who you have to target. Yes, the secondary one isn't reflected, but like, as you said, there's so many things. I don't think I've ever seen a Lotus Orb this early in a game before, and I really like it. It's going to give them a little bit of extra armor against a lot of this physical damage, and it's just so fantastic to see it early. And this smoke, if anybody comes to defend mid tower, they're just dead.
Yeah, and it's pretty natural to assume that Pycat is baiting at this point. He's got an Aegis, he's got a Butterfly, so he's confident, but he's not that confident. Just to be 1v5, essentially. So they have something waiting in the wings. Golden Boys don't want to touch that. They don't want to fight into Aegis, so they're going to try to split push. They're going to try to do whatever they can to get this top 2 in exchange. Because the rocket flare is delaying the creep wave, by the time the tier 2 falls, 4C&L are going to be in the base. They already get the observer ward primed for it. Now they're going to go with the Niqua jump here onto Skylark. This could be a game-winning pickoff. Skylark dead in an instant. Yeah, they'll push on the top lane, but in the meantime, their racks are going to be in jeopardy.
And I think they have to go for this push. They know they can't fight without the docks here, and the only thing they can maybe get is a tower in return, but at the same time, they're already having their tier 3 sieged, and we've got a TP rotation back from the Clockwork. He might be able to stop this, actually. The Focus Fire has come out. He's used the hookshot. Lotus Orb has expired, but it's got a super long, super decent uptime, and they're actually going to get the tower around the same time. No, they don't end up finishing it. Clockwork gets the deny, and now their Rax is in jeopardy, and they're getting nothing. Doxia is... 10 more seconds, and they get glimpsed back?
Oh, no!
No!
Oh, that's a free lane. There's no way to contest it without the Wind Ranger here. Wind Ranger will try to get some vengeance, mailing off Bambo, but in the end, she's now the one in trouble and has to disengage. Luckily, Bambo, without an Aghanims, cannot actually find that shot just yet. It's very close to coming off cooldown. They have vision on Thug, but he's got the Link Dagger and should be able to juke this one out.
Do they just not think on the lineup of Golden Boys that there is that much vision for the Disruptor? They have to know that this is going to be a maxed out glimpse. You're 29 minutes into the game. I think maybe just making the mistake that they didn't have vision to where they TP'd. Like, it's happened a number of times. The glimpse back off the TP.
There was an observer ward in the base, and it was nighttime, so I think they probably looked upon hero night vision values instead of the ward one, which is significantly more. And just hope that that wasn't a catch potential there.
Yeah. So, really well played from 4 Clovers, again, showing a dominant performance both of these games. And I really have to say, I don't think they were favored just because they haven't been taking as many games as Golden Boys, but both teams having some roster shuffles, and 4 Clovers coming out on top. They are 13,000 gold ahead, sorry, and almost 14,000 experience ahead. Yeah, this is... Niqua also has a Ghost Scepter, so you Omni slash him, he's just kind of like, whatevs, team. I'm gonna not Omni slash there. You try to do damage to him with the Windrunner, and it's not gonna work out.
Yep.
The Omni slash in between.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised if he actually went for the full E-Blade here, and that could just make it so that anybody that's Omni slashed or were focus fired will just be perfectly fine. There's not enough magic damage to make up for that E-Blade effect, so Niqua could really just be the saving grace for any one of his allies at that point in time. Tier 2s will be traded out, but now it might be the final fight up here. Ice Blast gonna come through the vacuum, pulling back Niqua. But they're not going to be shattering. They don't have any follow-up, and Thug is just trying so hard to get in position. Now he blinks forward, but he has no trees to shackle to, and he just gets walrus punched. They drop 2 ultimates for it, but that's enough with 1 core hero. Now she's going to have to buy back an Ancient Apparition. I don't think has that option. He'll be going down with the glimpse back.
It's really... I don't know, it feels like Golden Boy is just having a lot of trouble taking the engagements they need. They definitely did a decent job, I think, with the trade top, but then with the glimpse back, just really owning them. And now the Observer Ward in base again. Niqua's going to be able to get off a good thing without a blast. Not sure how they hold. They do have Vacuum Wall, but here is the blast. There's going to be a second Force Stuff. No, not quite here yet. There's a Wall Vacuum combo. They're getting nice damage, but again, the Ghost Scepter comes out, and there isn't enough magic, and now Skylark, he's on a bit of trouble. Niqua does actually go down. Gem is on the deck, but they're Force Stuffing people around. They're just playing around the lineup of Golden Boys, and I don't know if they'll be able to find somebody else. A glimpse over to the side. Again, the shackle, it latches onto Sexy Bambo. They know about this, but the high ground, she's missing so much. There's going to be the cooldown, and with the Lotus Orb, no one can touch Sexy Bambo. Skylark's now in a lot of trouble. The gem is on the deck again. Doxia goes down, and now it's Windrunner against the wall. We got buybacks, but let's see if they can hold at all. Pycat running around with that MKB. Nobody can hit him, and he is hitting everyone.
Yeah, and Kaiser just chased down the Disruptor that entire time. He was just running out, he spun the glimpse, and then he was just trying to at least kill EGM in the process there, but wasted his entire time. EGM eventually just TP'd himself away, and of course he's got a Ghost Scepter now too, so does not contribute to the tail end of that, and they do expend a total 3 buybacks for none. Now, at 8, approaching Ags, adding in more chase potential to the point that if they're ever outside their base, there's a chance to catch them. There's no place that's safe at this point in time because of the reach of Batrider, Disruptor, and Clockwork combined.
Yeah, and I think the bounty hunter, he has track up and blink. It's not as good as a level 2 Aghanims, as an Ancient Apparition Aghanims would have been here. So I think a lot of it coming down to... Because the laning phase wasn't awful for Golden Boys this time. It definitely wasn't as devastating as last game, where it felt like, as we said, early vacuum really cost them the game. But AA getting no farm here, I mean, there have been a number of times where if people had Ice Blast on them longer, they would have shattered. So, not sealing the deal. And it changes how you take team fights. You can't take them as much.
Yeah, it's just really difficult overall. I mean, the Ancient Apparition is... He's going for Force Staff because that's the clockwork factor, just forcing them into a bad spot. The Tusk as well. Those picks just make it so that a support has to find that utility more than anything else, and that means that they're relying exclusively on the Juggernaut and the Wind Ranger for the damage. I like this little play here, getting the smoke here, but with Kaiser being so far forward, I'm sure it's predictable to a team as good as 4C&L.
On the other hand... Oh, if they can use it to get the racks, like I would just, if nobody's responding yet, I would just try to get some damage on the melee racks and see. And if they can actually, the Lotus Orb comes out, the Shackle is reflected, but now here come the mass DPs and they need to get the hell out of dodge. But Fat Right is in with the lasso. There's going to be a really nice AA blast. Can they kill off Sexy Bamboo? Finally, wall vacuum combo. It was beautiful. And are they looking like they might actually be taking this team fight? Tug goes down as per usual, and suddenly... Pycat is here, cleaning up everyone. Kaiser can't fight. They got a number of fantastic kills, but here comes the attack helicopter, and you just don't win. Although they made a replica of the attack helicopter, and that's now killing people, so that's nice.
Yeah, suddenly Pycat is essentially the way I would describe that fight. Yeah, just walks in, kills off the entire enemy team, almost one of his allies, but has a jolly good time doing it. I mean, at this point, his damage levels are just absurd. His farm is insane, and he's just 2 tiers above anything that Golden Boys are bringing right now to each and every team fight. The MKB, the Butterfly, and of course that SMY, all of it just adding together for a massive amount of damage. My team fight recap didn't go up. I was hoping to at least get a number on that, but no, he carried that one no problem at all. And of course some good uses of the Clockwork Cogs as well as the Ice Shards to keep Golden Boys locked in place for that.
Yeah, so it's looking really good for 4 Clovers. The buybacks are on cooldown, of course, from that last fight, or people just not being rich enough. But let's see if they have this kind of final hold coming out. They won't have the wall vacuum combo for another 30 seconds, but Bounty Hunter can get some tracks up, and maybe that'll help their positioning.
Well, we'll try for it, but Nikwa's already ready to go with that lasso. Actually going to be a hook shot forward here, killing off the Ancient Apparition in the creep wave, and there's Shackles, not going to be doing too much. All this bouncing around back and forth. The Echo really just making everybody's life miserable, and they're diving the base. They've got evasion, they've got Satanic and Pycat. He wants his rampage, he's got a double. He's gonna be pursuing Kaiser for the triple, and here's Bug for the ultra kill. Unfortunately, Bamboo had already taken the AA, but a hell of a showing here from 4 Clovers and 11.
Yeah, so even winning despite the default win, I mean, certainly not the result I was expecting. Well played from 4 Clovers. They showed up today. And if this is the lineup they're, if this is how they're going to play for the rest of it, I am excited to see more coming out of them, because they have had a rough ride so far.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a little bit difficult. Obviously, Golden Boys were on quite a hot streak themselves, taking like 70% of the games that they played in the past 10 days against really good teams. But here we see 4C&L striking back and maybe on an upswing here themselves. They're really